All right, friends, thanks for joining this session. First, I would like to convey happy International Student Leadership Day. So, there are great memories. I think 2004, when I heard about Dr. Abdul Kalam's um, vision 2020. All right. So, he said if 760 million youth are there in India, if we ignite the spark in their minds, which force in this earth can stop us to become one of the top developed nations by 2020? I think he said this around 2000 or around that time. But I basically saw that information around 2003, 2004. I think he said we have to ignite the spark in the minds of the youth. So when you say ignite the spark in the minds of the youth, I think there is a national level initiative required. At the time, I was the executive committee member for the PMI, Pearl City chapter. So I think we start some initiative called Student Leadership Competency Building Initiative. That's called SLCB. So 15 to 22 years age group, we can ignite the spark by building what is called the leadership capabilities. Okay, so that is the origin. So the spark which got ignited in my mind was the statement made by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, our former president of India, and also one of the greatest program managers or project managers in the world. So 2005, uh, it's around April 11th, I guess, myself and my project management institute, Pearl City chapter colleagues, the volunteer colleagues, we all went to Delhi. Then we met Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam at his president office. Probably that is one of the memorable moments for me, meeting the president of India at his office and talking about the initiative which I conceptualized, and of course supported by so many great volunteers of the Project Management Institute community. So I met him and along with the other volunteer leaders, and there I presented the student leadership competency building and explained the need for that, and also how it will help in realizing the statement what he made, all those things. Then he said immediately two things. One is you should change that time, you should change that age group, not 15 years, you make it 12 years. So, how you ignite the spark in the minds of the students in the age group of 12 to 22 years? And also, I think you have to focus on the rural India. It's not just in the cities and towns. Okay, he basically guided us. Hey, friends, I think you need to really go to each village or maybe tier three towns and ensure that you ignite the spark in the minds of the students in those villages and then small towns, not just in the metros. Because the metro cities probably they have the access to plenty of sources to get that ignition in their mind. So with that note, I think we all got excited. We came back under the PMI Pearl City chapter umbrella. We visited so many villages. I personally went to Kakinada, Anuparthi, Guntur, Vijayawada, whatnot. So different places, and we covered around 3,000 students and explained them the importance of leadership and what is the value of leadership in the age group of that 12 to 22 years, right? So that is the origin. Then, after completion of this and with the great excitement in 2007, so when I was the, I think, president-elect for the PMI Pearl City chapter, I was also driving the GAN Lahari, which is a brand name for PMI Pearl City chapters conferences. We triggered the Student Leadership Conference, and we invited ISB dean at the time, Professor M.R. Rao, and also the state government, the Jawahar Knowledge Center's chairman, Dr. Ganta Subbarao, so that we all did it, and with the 1,200 students attended that conference at the Infosys premises. And on that day, that is 3rd February 2007, at Infosys Hyderabad, India, we announced um, International Student Leadership Day. On that day, I shared what is the essence of having this International Student Leadership Day and why we all need to celebrate that. And why not we give one day to the world? Most of the times in India, we basically import the days, different dates from Western world, and then celebrate. I think we should give one day to the whole world. That is International Student Leadership Day. That is the origin of this International Student Leadership Day. It is happened 2007, which I announced at the conference held at Infosys campus in Hyderabad on the occasion of Gyan Lahari Student Leadership Conference. So with that note, I think I'm sure you all got why this student leadership competency building and also the International Student Leadership Day announced. Now let us come back. It is almost, I think, 17 years. Still, we are talking about that, and I think it is a great moment for me. 17 years back, we started this International Student Leadership Day, and probably 20 years back, we started the Student Leadership Competency Building. Still, the PMI, Pearl City chapter, and supporting organizations have been celebrating ISLD and have been doing so many initiatives under SLCB to ignite the spark in the minds of the students in the age group of 12 to 22 years. But what is the most important thing I would like to share? 20 years back, what we defined, whether it is relevant today, especially in the era of fifth industrial revolution. I think the leadership, what we defined 20 years back, may be there as a hygiene. The basic qualities required have to be there. It's not like you don't need to have those qualities, but there are some additional qualities and capabilities you have to develop when you want to be the leader, especially in the fifth industrial revolution. So that means you have to understand what is this fifth industrial revolution. I made a statement probably 15 years or 17 years back. India has to build millions of industry ready and nation ready leaders. After all, they are students, right? The students are coming from the academic institutions, have to be ready to work in the industry, for the industry, and also work for the country. So, for that to happen, we need to have the millions of industry ready leaders and also the nation ready leaders. Now, what is the industry and what is the nation? So, we have to basically redefine that, especially in the era of fifth industrial revolution and also this digital era. So let me share with you what is industry, especially today, and that I call it as a fifth industrial revolution. The fifth industrial revolution is very different. For that, better understand what all the four industrial revolutions happened. Maybe in 1700, the first industrial revolution happened, prominently driven by steam engines. The economy was dependent on steam engines and then textile industry. At that time, the industry reference points were different. But when it comes to probably around 1800, around that, the second industrial revolution happened. At that time, the economies were driven by electricity. That was the engine. Then the third industrial revolution happened probably around 1970s, which was electronics and IT. They were the driving forces to create new jobs, new products, new services, investments around electronics and IT happened. Then in 2000, the fourth industrial revolution evolved, and it's not just IT or electronics, it is beyond that. That means the technology convergence started around 2000. That means the information technology, then operational technology, communication technology, collaboration technology, all these technologies got merged. That's the convergence happened basically. So when that convergence happened, a lot of new capabilities emerged, and that is the origin of the fourth industrial revolution. You call it as industry 4.0, which Germany coined, and society 4.0 or enterprise 4.0. So all those things came. Now at this point of time, the leadership capabilities required to drive the industries was different. So 20 years back, what we spoke may continue as a basic and hygiene qualifications or qualities of the leader, but you also need to acquire a few additional skills now in the fourth industrial revolution. Now, let us come to the other important thing. 2011 onwards, we already got into fifth industrial revolution. Okay, it's all right. These versions are only for our convenience. Don't worry about that. But you also need to understand what changes are happening at each industrial revolution. So when you say each industrial revolution, what is happening? So the economy is dependent on few factors. When it comes to the fifth industrial revolution, the economy is dependent on cyber systems or cyber cognitive systems, especially. When I say cyber systems, probably the fourth industrial revolution was basically driven by cyber systems where IT plus CT plus OT and all the different technologies combined. I call it as a cyber system. But when it comes to the fifth industrial revolution, it has become cyber cognitive systems. That means the machines, the equipment, the things, the objects, everything is getting near human intelligence. Of course, they never become near equal to the human intelligence in the immediate future. So, what happens now? The bots, the chatbots, the robotics, I think they're all becoming hyper intelligent and able to perform so many activities. So, this is called cyber cognitive systems, the convergence of technologies plus the intelligence and some element of sentiency or a consciousness, if not 100%, is going to come in the era of fifth industrial revolution. Then what does it mean? Number one, humans and machines work together, which was not the case in the fourth industrial revolution. That means the machines and robots and things become very intelligent. Already it started. So that, for example, if you take a manufacturing industry, 90% of the workforce is not required. Few humans and rest of the things are robots and machines will work. That means that is a digital workforce. That means in the fifth industrial revolution, the humans and machines work together as a team. Maybe your boss could be a robot tomorrow. You don't know. So that is one important thing is happening. Then second important thing in the fifth industrial revolution is the humanity element will go up. Why the humanity element will go up and also why the sustainability element will go up, we have to understand. In the last four industrial revolutions from 1700 onwards, while we have grown the economically and also there was a social upliftment happened, unfortunately all these four industrial revolutions had happened mostly through capitalism that has killed the sustainability. That means the environmental impact was so negative, and also the humanity angle has gone down. The greediness has gone up. The commercial and the money has become the so important factor for human relationships. That doesn't work. In the fifth industrial revolution, one important thing is the compassionate capitalism. And innovation must have a purpose, and innovation must consider the society, the environment, the other economy angle, and everything should go together. Then the most important thing in the fifth industrial revolution is augmenting the human intelligence. If I have some intelligence because of my experience and knowledge, then I can also augment my intelligence with artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning algorithms, right? So that augmenting human intelligence is another important element in the fifth industrial revolution. Why I'm spending too much of time on this? Because you have to redefine the industry in the fifth industrial revolution. The reference points got changed. The way the industries operate, the businesses operate, everything is getting changed. So even it's not just the industry and businesses, the countries also getting changed because of this fifth industrial revolution. They cannot live in the past with the old policies. When the technology interventions are giving you so many new solutions, you have to redesign new policies. That means the nation has to revisit its policies, its systems, its infrastructure, and the nations have to build hyper connected physical infrastructure and digital infrastructure. So we have to redefine what is industry and what is nation in the era of fifth industrial revolution, then automatically the industry ready leaders and nation ready leaders, the context also changes. So my message to the PMI Pearl City chapter and my friends who have been working very passionately on this initiative, revisit what is industry ready leader and nation ready leader in the context of the fifth industrial revolution. I visualized, I in fact wrote a small book, Bharat 2047, which was unveiled by Dr. Rajesh Pant, the Lieutenant General. He is also the National Cybersecurity Coordinator from the Prime Minister's Office. In that book, I also mentioned by 2047, that means 100 years after independence of India, we might reach seventh industrial revolution. There is no surprise, right? So I think we have to really understand the pace at which the industry revolution is happening now, probably 10 years, not more than that. That means the industry ready and nation ready leaders, the context and the baseline have to be revisited every 10 years, and we have to ensure the new capabilities and new skills are built. So now let us understand what is that now we have to do to build this industry ready and nation ready leaders, especially in the era of this fifth industrial revolution. Okay, we all know that the leadership capabilities required, whether you are a student or any professional, most important thing is you must see the future. You must be able to dream the future. You must be able to imagine the future. You must be able to visualize the future. If you don't have that capability, it is very difficult for you to design the future. One of the very important qualities or capabilities the leader must possess is ability to see the future, ability to predict the risks of the future and mitigate them. That is very, very important. The second important thing is, as a leader, you must set a common mission or a common purpose or a common vision, and you must be able to take maybe tens, hundreds, thousands, millions of people with you with high inspiration and motivation so that they all work for that cause and purpose. They don't work for you. Your mission and vision must be most powerful. As a leader, you must inspire, you must articulate, you must communicate, you must motivate the people to work for that vision and purpose. That is another very important characteristic of a leader. Then the decision making power, the judgment. So, what to do, what is the right time, what is the right decision, are you taking at the right time, right decisions or not? You must have problem solving skills as a leader. You must have the empathy. And most important thing is the resilience. What is resilience means when failure happens, how do you bounce back? It's not like you get into the depression and then you fail. No, when failure happens, how do you bounce back? I think these are all the common, right? And agility, how are you flexible so that the changing situations you are able to embrace or not and all. These are all leadership qualities, right? So these leadership qualities will continue even in the sixth industrial revolution, seventh industrial revolution, any generations you come, those are very basic hygiene capabilities required. But in the fifth industrial revolution, what I mentioned, which is driven by technologies, I think you need additional leadership qualities if you want to be successful in the industry or if you want to be a community leader. That means the industry ready leader or national ready leader. What most important thing is, you cannot say, especially in the era of fifth industrial revolution and a digital era, technology is not my cup of tea. You as a leader must understand what is technology, what is the power of technology. You don't need to get into the nitty-gritties or you don't need to get into understand the technology as a whole in detail, but you need to understand what is the new capability coming from these technologies and what new solutions, what new innovations I can introduce. I think you must understand the power of technology, what impact it creates on industries, businesses, and the nation. You need to understand. That is a very, very critical thing. You must stop saying, technology is not my cup of tea. What you are studying, whether you're studying engineering, you are studying commerce, as a science or mathematics, it doesn't matter. Even arts. You must understand that technology is going to change every profession. So you should know what new capabilities of these technologies is going to change the courses what I'm studying or the future, the career what I'm going to take it up. Next important thing what you have to acquire as a leader in this fifth industrial revolution? Probably you have been working with people together for many decades. As a student, probably you are working with your teachers, your friends, your parents, and all. And now you started, I'm sure, you are working with the bots. Maybe you might be using ChatGPT or a bot and all. Not that, it is not enough. Now you start working with an intelligent machines, right? Robo may be your security guard, and the robo may be your teacher, and maybe robo may be your companion. Okay, that means you should understand in the fifth industrial revolution as a new leadership capability, that is working humans and people work together. Working with people itself is the biggest challenge. Now, there is no surprise after 5 years from now, you might be having Aadhaar number for your car, for your machines, equipment, tools, whatnot, right? For every entity which has the sensors or internet connecting to the internet, able to communicate with people, we also need to consider them like human beings, that they are digital human beings, right? And you have to work with the digital workers. So humans and machines working together like teams, working like competitors, and you might collaborate with them. The machines or bots or robots might be your advisors, your teachers, and your colleagues. So then how do you work? Don't you think new policies are required? The country has to redesign. It is not just simply human resources, it is human digital resources, right? I think that's very, very important. Then the most important thing is, I always say that, especially in the technology era, if you look at the first industrial revolution happened in 1700, then maybe after 120 years, the second industrial revolution, after probably 70 years, you got third industrial revolution, but within 30 years, you got fourth industrial revolution. Now within 9, 10 years, you got fifth industrial revolution. What does it mean? The change is at rapid, the change is happening at a rapid pace. Change is constant, also instant. That means, as a leader, you should understand in the fifth industrial revolution or in the future generations, you cannot sit to something saying that I designed my vision or objectives. I can probably stay and work for those vision statements and also the objectives for next 10 years or 15 years. No, it's not like that. You have to revisit your vision every 3 years. You have to revisit your capabilities every 3 years, right? Your skills every 3 years. So, what new capabilities, new roles, new behaviors, new competencies? So, how do you basically embrace all these new changes at a rapid speed and you prepare your organization for the future, your country for the future is the most important skill as a leader you have to acquire, because the change is constant and instant. Every 3 years, every 1,000 days, there will be major change, unlike in the past. Probably in the past, every 20 years, every 15 years, every 30 years, we used to see the change, and countries used to move very slow in their policies, in their governance, in their acts, rules, or whatever, right? So, regulations, everything. So, the country has to look at now every 3 years what sort of new changes and new policies needs to happen. And of course, the organizations have to look at the industries and businesses every 3 months, every 1 year. So the agility, the adaptability you have to bring in the 15th industrial revolution as far as your leadership quality is concerned. Then the last one probably I would like to emphasize on the leadership in the era of 15th industrial revolution is ethics, empathy, compassion, and responsibility towards environment. All those things are very important. Privacy, very important. When you are connected today, in the fifth industrial revolution today, unfortunately or fortunately, you are living in a very imaginary world. Look at your augmented reality, virtual reality, or metaverse type of environments are creating virtual worlds which you probably don't experience in the physical world. That means what? It is imaginary. You are able to create them wearing these VR headsets or augmented reality glasses. You are getting into a new imaginary world in the computer, and then you are trying to experience what you are not able to experience outside. That means you are going to live in a phygital world. Physical world plus physical world, digital world, or a combination of physical and digital world. So when you are getting into that, you have to be very careful. And I am sure you have seen in the metaverse, there was a sexual abuse of a person who joined in the metaverse. I think some experimentation done by Facebook. That means when you are connected and when you are able to open the new venues to connect and collaborate with the people all over the world, you have to be very careful, respect others, you have to be responsible, and you have to acquire a digital etiquette. That means you are getting into working with robots, working with bots, working with chatbots, or so many things. Then you have to acquire, or you are getting into video conferencing, audio conferencing, telepresence, whatnot, right? So you need to acquire a digital etiquette. That is very important. And in the last four industrial revolutions, we have successfully destroyed the environment, and we have emitted too much of carbons into the air. All Panchbhutas, I think, we destroyed to the core. So, what is the most important thing as a leader you have to understand here is, even you use the technologies, how you are going to safeguard the soil, how you are going to safeguard the air, water quality, air quality, right? So all these things are very important, and how you safeguard the forest, how you safeguard the biodiversity. So if you are using the technology, it doesn't mean that you destroy them. I am sure you see, and in some of the places where the 5G towers were there, all the sparrows got died. That's where I heard. Some of the insects, some of the birds basically getting impacted because of this high-powered communication networks. That means technology has a negative impact on the environment. So we have to be responsible as a leaders when you are embracing the technologies and the technology new capabilities. For example, if you are using cloud computing or edge computing, how much electricity it is consuming, and how much of heat these cloud data centers are generating, and to cool them down, how much energy you are consuming again. So all these things are the environmental impacts get created when you are using the technology heavily. So you have to be responsible, and also when you are connected, you have to respect the privacy of the people. It's not like you getting into or intruding into the other's world, whether it is imaginary so or immersive. So you have to maintain that etiquette. So the privacy is very important. So as a leader, so to summarize, I think you must be technologically fluent to understand what new capabilities are emerging, so that how you as a leader can change your country or your world. Okay, then cultivating the human and machine leadership collaboration, how it is happening. Then you have to be agile, and you have to be resilient, and you should be able to work with people. That means humans and machines have to work together. How do you acquire the relationship? And when people are working remotely from one location to another location, how do you manage with different cultures virtually? That is another leadership capability. And compassionate capitalism is very important. You must respect the society, you must respect the environment and all. Okay. I think so. Now, I think almost we spent 35 minutes. So, what I would like to conclude here is, so you have to redefine the industry, and you have to redefine the nation for every industrial revolution. We are in the fifth industrial revolution now. So you have to understand what the changes are basically happening in the industry, what changes are happening in the nation because of these different type of industrial revolutions. Okay, then you have to ensure that the capabilities, the skills, the policies, the courses, I mean, the country and the academia, they have to work in such a way, so they have to redefine so many things to align with the industrial revolutions. So students have to acquire the leadership skills from the age group of 12 to 22 years. Again, the leadership skills, few are common irrespective of which industrial revolution you are in, but there are few are very specific to that industrial revolution. So you must have the general leadership skills, and you must have the industrial revolution specific leadership skills. For example, here, the fifth industrial revolution. The blend of these two you have to acquire if you want to be industry ready leader and nation ready leader. Okay, so I wish you all the best and happy International Student Leadership Day. And this is what we announced around 17 years back in Hyderabad, India, Telangana. And we all probably enjoy that day today. And I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.